Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee's 28th Annual Awards Ceremony. We welcome you all on our media and online platforms. The TTOC's 28th Annual Awards Ceremony includes welcome remarks, a featured speaker, the presentation of the TTOC's 8 prestigious awards, and a special message from the patron of the TTOC, Her Excellency Paula May Weeks, ORTT, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. We begin with a reflection on Team TTOC's special moments in 2020. Wonderful moments. Ladies and gentlemen, to deliver welcome remarks of the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, please welcome the President of the TTOC, Ms. Diane Henderson.
Good evening. Her Excellency Paula May Weeks, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. The Honorable Minister of Sport and Community Development, Ms. Shamfa Kaju. Executive members, esteemed special guests, athletes, the media, and the viewing public. 2022 proved to be an eventful and successful year. From returning to sport to the Commonwealth Games, there were many positive moments of which we must be pleased about. The first Caribbean Games was held in Guadeloupe, and Team TTO was able to represent favorably with medals in swimming, athletics, and futsal. What turned out to be the commencement of a unified Caribbean tradition in sport. The Commonwealth Games in Birmingham followed when Team TTO was represented by 73 athletes in 12 sports. Medals were gained in athletics and cycling with scintillating performances by Jareem Richards and Nicholas Paul, and the 4x4 relay team and cycling sprint team members, Kwesi Brown and Akil Campbell. These performances brought pride to the country in many ways. The continuation of the growth of high performance is critical and is reflected in the work that the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, TTOC, is doing with the Michael Johnson program. The need for high-performance coaches in all sports is not only vital to our acquisition of medals, but to the building the support athletes can access locally. This year, it was evident that the pandemic left its mark, and many athletes and persons involved in sport were suffering from the effects. Nonetheless, the TTOC recognizes the importance of mental health and continued support for athletes. Safeguarding is one such topic that needs mention. The Athletes Commission and its interim committee is working hard to bring awareness to its Olympic athlete base on crucial topics of anti-doping and safeguarding. In addition, TTOC's ongoing education programs continue through courses, workshops, and seminars to educate stakeholders, to ensure continuous learning and capacity building, in particular for the improvement in governance and long-term development. One such partnering with the Ministry of Sport and Community Development to complete administrative and coaching programs for communities. The TTOC held the Women in Sport Annual Women in Leadership Forum in early October, continuing the work of sensitizing and empowering women all over the Caribbean and by extension the world on various relevant topics of interest. At the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, the Trinidad and Tobago Commonwealth Games Association, TTCGA, once again gained the honor of hosting the Commonwealth Youth Games 2023, which will be held from August 4 to 11. There will be 7 sports: aquatics, cycling, athletics, triathlon, netball, beach volleyball, and rugby, held across the 2 islands. Work has started, and we are all eager and looking forward to your support. The search for a mascot is out through our mascot competition, and we call on all our young people to enter and show your creativity. Many have heard the international call to reduce gas emissions, so the Olympic movement is no different. The TTOC signed the UN S4CA Climate Action Framework and have begun to place focus on sustainable initiatives for 2023. I conclude. Congratulations to the athletes who have worked hard and those in particular who have been successful in 2022. Continue to persevere. Best wishes for 2023 season, when there is the Central American and Caribbean Games, CAC, the Pan Am Games, as well as our own Trinbago 2023 Youth Games. Happy and safe New Year to all.
Thank you, Ms. Henderson, President of the TTOC. Now, let's present the first category of TTOC Awards.
The Junior Sportswoman and the Junior Sportsman Awards are presented for outstanding achievements in competition during the year by an individual under the age of 20 years. The nominees excelled or were the outstanding performers in an Olympic discipline.
We begin with the Junior Sportswoman of the Year Award. And to present this award, we welcome TTOC Vice President Rhea Richardson.
The 2022 Junior Sportswoman of the Year is Phoebe Sandy, cycling, National Junior Champion in the cycling track sprint event, National Junior Champion in the cycling 500-meter event, 12th place in the flying 200-meter event at the Junior World Championships, 13th place in the 500-meter at the Junior World Championships, 15th place in the Karen event at the Junior World Championships. First place in the female team sprint event at the Caribbean Cycling Track Championships. New national record holder in the flying 200-meter event for both junior and elite women at the Caribbean Cycling Track Championships.
I'd like to say thank you to God, firstly, my parents, coaches, friends and family that support me, and TTOC for presenting me with this award.
Congratulations to Phoebe Sandy. Now on to the Junior Sportsman of the Year Award. And to present this award, we welcome TTOC Executive Member Mushtaq Mohammed.
The 2022 Junior Sportsman of the Year is Nikolai Blackman, swimming. First place in the boys 100-meter freestyle at the Caribbean Games, Guadeloupe. First place in the 50-meter butterfly event at the Pan Am Age Group Championships.
Firstly, I would like to thank God for giving me the ability to swim. Then I would like to thank TTOC for presenting me with this award, and ASAT, the Amateur Swimming Association of Trinidad and Tobago, for assisting me out through the year and helping me get my times to go these big meets. And lastly, my parents and coaches for helping me throughout my whole swim career.
Thank you, Ms. Richardson and Mr. Mohammed. And congratulations to Phoebe Sandy and Nikolai Blackman. Ladies and gentlemen, the TTOC extends thoughts and prayers to the families of sporting personalities who passed in 2022. We remember our colleagues and achievers for their commitment and passion to country and sporting disciplines in this, our Remembrance Tribute. To the families of our beloved sport colleagues, we are truly sorry for your loss. Our program continues with a feature address of the TTOC's 28th Annual Awards Ceremony. We welcome Sherelle Thompson.
Season's greetings and pleasant good evening to the President of Trinidad and Tobago, Her Excellency Paula May Weeks, the Minister of Sport, Honorable Shamfa Kajo, the President of the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, Ms. Diane Henderson, fellow athletes and members of the viewing public, good evening. It is my pleasure to deliver the feature address this evening as we pause to reflect on and celebrate the close of Chapter 2022 in our individual and collective journey. This year marks my 18th season as a competitive swimmer, and there's just something about this thing called sport that I just can't get enough of. Ever since I was a little girl, anything that involved jumping, flipping, stretching, climbing, you call my name. Some of my fondest memories were learning to kick and blowing bubbles in the pool with my kindergarten class, the July-August vacation, playing small goal football barefooted in the street with the boys. I was the only girl, so when I scored a goal, that was the biggest win. Secondary school sports day, that was my day. All in one day. I got to jump, run, throw, tug on rope for my dear life. These were simple but life-giving moments, which sparked my passion for play and competition. I know I'm not the only one. Let me ask you athletes, do you remember the first time you were introduced to your chosen sport and you began achieving some level of success? The first race that you won, the first national team that you qualified for. There's a thrill in the hunt for reaching new barriers and breaking them, attaining new heights and surpassing them. And then at the end of the season, still hungry for more, for new ways to get better, to squeeze out greater levels of success. If you're anything like me, you just can't get enough. What about those of us who have already crossed 5, 10, 15 years of dedication to your sporting career? Do you still have that same wonder at the things that have now become familiar? When the margin of improvement becomes narrower and narrower, and expectations grow taller and taller, there's the appreciation for these simple yet life-giving moments of your journey get crowded out by focus on the next goal, the next competition, the next rank up. The pursuit of being stronger, aiming higher and being faster forces a merge of who we are and what we do. Moments of pure joy and satisfaction become synonymous with only the accomplishments and these big goals that we set for ourselves. Now this evening, I'm not speaking to you as one who has completed or knows everything there is to know, but as a fellow athlete, one who is still growing and learning in this game of life. My hope is that in these next few moments that we share together will serve as a reminder for us to go into this next season, this next chapter, with our minds fixed and fortified, our body ready to fight, and in our hearts, a posture of gratitude and wonder. Let's dive a bit deeper into my story. I remember the first time I was inspired to become an Olympian. It was the summer of 2008. I was out of secondary school, and I found myself out of bed before 7 a.m. to watch a female swimmer whom I'd met the previous year at a Pan Am competition, who looked like me, was built like me, was silly like me, and had a similar family background as I did. She was set to compete in my favorite event, the 50-meter freestyle. Now you have to note, this was one of the only times I was awake before 7 a.m. without my mother guilt-tripping me to get out of bed. That hour of the morning, my younger sisters were still asleep, so I sat inches away from the TV with the volume just high enough for me to hear the commentator as I waited for the 50-meter freestyle event to begin. On the floor, my heart pounded and my stomach was doing flips as I watched her walk out on deck. I looked in wonder at a girl just like me from my country walking out to compete at the highest level of sport. As this athlete pursued the best version of herself and shined her light for a little girl like me, it sparked something in me, giving me permission to pursue that path too. What she didn't know then is that her last Olympic race, along with her humility and altruistic nature as we built a relationship moving forward, it created a ripple effect for me to begin my quest to become the next female Olympic swimmer for Trinidad and Tobago. If you're viewing, Chantal McLean, thank you. Thank you for being the first athlete mentor in my life and leaving a lasting impact. Now, we all know the pursuit did not come without threats to the life of my dream. It was many years before I could make it onto the Olympic stage. And time would not permit me to share the details of the chapters from that defining moment until the point where I would finally make it to the blocks in Tokyo. What I could say, though, is that it was a long road with many defining moments. And it was only through reflection that these experiences, by the grace of God, I was able to find reasons to be grateful and wonder amidst the ashes of disappointment and difficulty. On more than one occasion, I got to points in my journey where I would count my blessings and accept my losses because, well, this time, it was the last straw. My first last straw was a major shoulder injury, one of the worst my surgeon said they had ever seen. It was a long road to recovery. And next, adapting to college for the first time. I cried buckets of tears being homesick and finding a way to adapt to the new demand of academics and athletics. The second shoulder surgery came some time after, then major disappointment and retirement, sitting out for some time after missing out on Rio 2016. In retrospect, these were all raw ingredients, unpalatable in their original state, but when mixed together and were put under the heat of the oven, they served to produce something far greater than I could have imagined. Now let's fast forward to March of 2020, that time in history. Imagine what it would have felt like as the announcement came for the postponement of the Tokyo 2020 Games. I was set to begin medical school later that year, and the world was in a state of uncertainty, with a glimmer of hope that things would improve for the Games to be held 12 months later. Well, at this point, I was convinced that I had no more straws. All I had was a dream in my heart and a passion for sport, and I placed that into God's hands. The rest is history. Well, her story. It was a rare story. My point is, and as I close, the end of the year or season, just like this one, the best of us would make plans for the new season. But the question is that none of us could answer is whether this will be our last competition, our last season, our last breath. All things considered, we know not what the future holds. So my MO is to take each opportunity to compete and engage in this thing called sport as a gift. Furthermore, each of us were blessed with these talents and abilities to use to the best of our abilities. Using the gift we've been given will make room for us, not only for our own honor, but by giving the gifts we have been given, it will make room for us to sow seeds and leave a lasting impact. So for those of us, for those who are making the transition out of sport at the end of this season, we celebrate you and the mark that you have made the seeds you have sown and the lives that you've touched. No matter the stage of our journey, may we all transition into 2023 with our minds fixed and fortified, our bodies prepared to fight, and in our hearts, a posture of gratitude and wonder, to seize each moment as it will our last, and lead moment by moment a life that will outlast. Thank you.
Thank you to Ms. Thompson, our feature speaker, for sharing such a meaningful perspective. Now, on to our Sport Personality Award. We invite TTOC Vice President Ephraim Serrett to present the Sports Personality of the Year Award.
The Sports Personality of the Year Award is for an individual whose contribution during the year was pivotal to the outstanding sporting achievement of an affiliate. This award does not rest on one achievement during the year, but acknowledges sustained outstanding activity. The 2022 Sports Personality is Jareem Richards, Athletics.
It's an honor to receive the Sporting Personality Award of 2022, especially being considered among such prestigious athletes as Dylan Carter and Nicholas Paul. Even coming through a pandemic year, going through all these struggles, and to still be successful, it's just a blessing. I'm very thankful for this award. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Serrett, and congratulations to Jareem Richards. Now, it's time for the Future is Female Award.
The Future is Female Award celebrates the leadership of an individual, team, or organization, demonstrating outstanding commitment to the encouragement, development, and motivation of women in sport. The award also draws attention to valuable contributions, showcasing women in a positive and progressive way or being a spokesperson or advocate for the prominence of women in the sporting world.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is Ms. Sonja Johnson, TTOC Executive Member, to present the Future is Female Award for 2022.
The 2022 Future is Female Award goes to Rachel Thompson King, Guardian Media Limited.
I would like to say thank you for this award. It's such an awesome feeling when your work is recognized. And from the support I've gotten from where I've been working for the past 20 years, Guardian Media Limited, and of course for TTOC for always being there supporting me throughout my journey with my overseas trip, locally and otherwise. So I just want to say thanks again for this beautiful award.
Congratulations to Rachel Thompson King. The TTOC is pleased to welcome to our 2022 awards ceremony the Minister of Sport and Community Development to deliver remarks. We welcome the Honorable Shamfa Kojo.
Ms. Diane Henderson, President of the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee and other committee members, to all distinguished athletes and sport affiliates, members of the media and our viewing audiences, good evening. I bring you greetings on behalf of the Ministry of Sport and Community Development, the government and the people of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. It is indeed a privilege for me to join you this evening as we celebrate our heroes, showcase athletic excellence, and show off the power and beauty of sports. First and foremost, I must pay tribute to the hard-working, trailblazing Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee. I thank you for your steadfast commitment to honoring our nation's athletes, recognizing and supporting their journey to excellence, and for all the assistance that you continue to extend to our people and our government. You continue to make your mark, raise the bar, engender hope, pursue peace, keeping dreams alive, and shining your light in the darkness. You are a strong tower, a bastion of hope, and for all that you do, we sincerely thank you. Tonight, we celebrate sport excellence as we honor our most accomplished and esteemed sportswomen across Trinidad and Tobago. 2021 has indeed been a rough year for us, but in 2022, you showed the world the true constitution of courage, commitment, perseverance, and grit. This year, our athletes gifted our nation many memorable and prolific moments in sport. Oh, the pride, the joy, the honor, and the glory as we witnessed the likes of Nicholas Paul, Jareem Richards, and Dylan Carter in a ripping form, taking the world by storm, racking up medals, first, second, and third, making naysayers eat their words, creating history. 2022 deserves to be celebrated indeed. Despite challenging circumstances, hours of hopelessness, and days of despair, you faced the fire. You rose to every occasion. You beat the odds. You kept hope alive. You showed the world our good side, constantly reminding us of who we are, what we were meant to be, and who we could still become. Tonight, we celebrate you. Tonight, I thank you, for through you, I've learned so much. Only if we could all take a page from the book of each athlete, because they impart life lessons that only sport can teach, where humility brings honor, discipline brings dignity, and favor is trumped by fair play each and every day. Your real worth is determined by your work. Perseverance brings power, and resilience earns you respect. Our athletes epitomize all these fine qualities, and they deserve every bit of recognition and honor that they receive. I take this opportunity to also acknowledge and pay tribute to the entire sporting fraternity and all stakeholders in this beautiful ecosystem, the coaches, the administrators, the many arms of the state, the sponsors, and the loyal spectators. Thank you for standing in solidarity with our athletes, contributing to the development of our country, and empowering our people through the magic and might of sport. Our government remains committed to serving and supporting each and every one of you as we work hand in hand to nurture our athletes, improve the lot of our sporting fraternity, transform our communities, and expand our economy through this tried, tested, and true development tool called sports. Once again, I congratulate all winners. I wholeheartedly commend all our athletes. I salute the TTOC, and I express best wishes to the entire sporting fraternity. Season's greetings to you and your family. I thank you. God bless you. God bless our nation. Merry Christmas.
Thank you to the Honorable Shamfa Kojo, Minister of Sport and Community Development. We now turn our attention to the TTOC's 2 Senior Sport Awards.
The Sportswoman and Sportsman of the Year. Athletes should have excelled or have been the outstanding performers in an Olympic discipline, where such activity is capable of being assessed by measurement or international regional ranking. High achievement may be given greater weight than achievement of medals in competition.
It is my pleasure to invite Ms. Sherelle Thompson, TTOC's 28th Annual Awards feature speaker, to present the Sportswoman of the Year Award.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2022 Sportswoman of the Year is Tennille Campbell, cycling. First, in the women's points race at the 2022 Pan American Track Cycling Championships, Peru. Second, in the women's individual pursuit race at the 2022 Pan American Track Cycling Championships, Peru. Third, in the women's elimination race at the 2022 Pan American Track Cycling Championships, Peru. Second, in the Ceratazit Challenge by La Vuelta Marina de Cudello, Stage 1 with Team Bike Exchange. First, in the Caribbean Road Cycling Championships in Santo Domingo.
Season greetings, Trinidad and Tobago. I am privileged and honored to be your 2022 Elite Sportswoman of the Year. I would firstly like to thank God, my family, my professional team, Team Bike Exchange, JACO, the support I get locally, and everyone in general who have supported me throughout this year. Let's aim to make 2023 an even better and greater one.
Congratulations to Tennille Campbell. And now for the Sportsman of the Year award, I invite Mr. Brian Lewis, TTOC Immediate Past President, to present this award.
The 2022 Sportsman of the Year is Jareem Richards, Athletics. First, in the men's 4x400 meter finals at the 22nd Commonwealth Games, Alexander Stadium, Birmingham. First, in the men's 200 meter finals at the 22nd Commonwealth Games, Alexander Stadium, Birmingham. Fifth, in the men's 4x400 meter finals at the World Athletics Championships, Oregon 2022, Hayward Field, Eugene, Oregon. Second, in the men's 4x100 meter finals at the Trinidad and Tobago Championships, Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain.
To become the Sportsman of the Year of 2022, I would say it's a blessing. I'm very thankful and grateful for all the blessings I've had on and off the track, and to be able to lift up this prestigious award, is always an honor, so I just like to say thank you to everyone that supported and helped this season, so thank you very much.
Our thanks to Ms. Thompson and Mr. Lewis, and congratulations to Tennille Campbell and Jareem Richards. Ladies and gentlemen, for the third consecutive year, we are honored to receive greetings from Her Excellency, the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, who is the patron of the TTOC. Please welcome Her Excellency Paula May Weeks, ORTT, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Good evening and season's greetings, members of the sporting fraternity and the national community. We are still well within the festive season, having just celebrated Christmas and now on the threshold of the new year. And it is the ideal time to celebrate the highs and reflect wide open the motto of the 2024 Olympic Games. This evening's award ceremony, the third in a virtual format, provides the sporting fraternity with the opportunity so to do by recognizing and honoring the sportsmen and women who have excelled in their respective fields over the last year. As patron of the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee and as president, I am thrilled to congratulate and applaud the awardees. They are all richly deserving of praise and commendation, given their stellar performances and achievements during what has unquestionably been one of the most challenging and stressful periods in sporting history. Even as the nation toasts the success of its athletes, it continues to mourn the untimely death of Dion Lendo, three-time Olympian, World Championship bronze medalist, and Olympic bronze medalist, who passed away tragically in January this year. Dion was a diligent, dedicated, and accomplished athlete, an inspiration to his family, friends, fellow athletes, and community. He represented Trinidad and Tobago with pride, honor, and distinction, and we acknowledge and are grateful for the indelible mark he has left on sport in our nation. May he rest in peace. Athletes and the sporting world in general have had a difficult and unpredictable time over these past few seasons, contending with the long and disruptive arm of COVID-19, which delayed long-held plans, dreams, and ambitions, and necessitated their significant reworking. Despite it all, our athletes continue to shine on the international stage and provide Trinidad and Tobago with a welcome, if temporary, distraction from its troubles, and just cause for celebration. The judges of tonight's awards have had the difficult and invidious task of selecting the brightest and best from among the field of deserving athletes. I don't envy them, as I dare say they are spoilt for choice. Jereme Richards' record-breaking efforts earned him gold medals at the Commonwealth Games and the World Athletics Indoor Championships. Nicholas Paul added gold, silver, and bronze to his impressive cache of medals following stellar showings at the Commonwealth Games and other events this year. Kishon Walcott speared javelin gold in Atlanta and silver in Bahamas. Dylan Carter continues to shatter records in the pool, and Tennille Campbell and Sean Power both pedaled their way onto the winner's rostrum. Our magnificent showing at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham this year, with a 6-medal haul, cannot go unremarked. It gladdened our hearts and stoked our patriotic spirit, as along with the rest of the world, we heard the soul-stirring sound of "Forged from the Love of Liberty" being played on our national instrument. Well done, athletes. You have done our country exceeding proud. And the nation responded. At the 2022 National Awards, it was my greatest pleasure to bestow medals on a total of 18 of your number, both athletes and officials, in recognition of your contribution to sport. The medals are but a token of our gratitude and indicate that we understand that your accomplishments took hard work, sacrifice, determination, sweat, tears, and maybe even a little blood. Elite athletes cannot rely on natural ability alone. To achieve peak performance and get the edge over their competitors, they push their bodies to the extreme, demonstrate astonishing resilience, forego the foods that they love, and willingly miss out on birthdays, holidays, and other significant occasions to train relentlessly. Only a special few are capable of this degree of commitment. Accolades, well wishes, and applause from family, friends, and supporters serve as encouragement, but much more is needed if our athletes are to realize their full potential. They require, among other things, adequate funding, elite facilities, and first-rate gear and equipment. I appeal to the Ministry of Sport and Community Development, other agencies, and corporate citizens to add cash to congratulations, thereby providing tangible support to our sportsmen and women, so enabling them to continue to fly high, the red, white, and black on the international stage. In all of this, TTOC has played an instrumental role in the selection, training, and all-round preparation of athletes for the premier stage of sport for over 6 decades. This year, history was made when your first female president was elected, and I congratulate Ms. Diane Henderson on breaking the glass ceiling. A changing of the guard did not impede or hinder you in continuing to fulfill your mandate. Among your many accomplishments were the hosting of the 6th iteration of the Advancing Women in Leadership virtual seminar and an Olympic youth camp. It wasn't all smooth sailing, however, as not only did you have to contend with the effects of the pandemic, but there was also the theft of expensive electronic equipment and sporting gear during a break-in at Olympic House earlier this year. But do not be discouraged, as neither goblin nor foul fiend shall daunt your spirit. Continue to steward and oversee our nation's brightest sparks, so they can hone their sporting prowess, achieve excellence, and inspire a new generation of athletes. Next year, Trinidad and Tobago will host the 2023 Commonwealth Youth Games. And with our home court advantage, the nation looks forward eagerly to improving upon our already impressive record. The following year, all eyes will be on the Paris Games, where our athletes will don the national colors and seek to once again make their mark on the premier event of the world of sport. Athletes, as you take stock of and learn from the wins and losses, successes and setbacks of 2022, and run, jump, throw, swim, cycle, fight, sail, and row into 2023, know that the nation is cheering you on. I congratulate tonight's awardees and wish our sportsmen and sportswomen the greatest success in the coming year. And to the national community, I wish you a bright and prosperous new year.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, we now present our final group of awards.
The People's Choice Award. This category affords the general public an opportunity to vote online for their national athlete.
We invite Mr. Dave Williams to present the TTOC's People's Choice Award for 2022.
The 2022 People's Choice Award goes to Nicholas Paul, cycling. Nicholas Paul is also one of Trinidad and Tobago's decorated athletes achieved first place in the men's sprint, the UCI Nations Cup in Cali, Colombia. First place in the men's curling at the UCI Nations Cup in Cali, Colombia. First place in the men's curling, the 22nd Commonwealth Games, Lee Valley Stadium in London. Second place in the men's sprint event to the 22nd Commonwealth Games, Lee Valley Stadium in London.
It's really an honor to be awarded the People's Choice Award for 2022. Firstly, I'd like to thank God, my family, friends, supporters, the TTOC for supporting me throughout 2022. It's been a year full of ups and downs, but I must say it was a memorable year for me. So in closing, I would just like to say Merry Christmas to everyone and hope you enjoy this season.
Congratulations to Nicholas Paul and thank you to Mr. Dave Williams. Our final award for the night is the Alexander B. Chapman Award. Mr. Alexander Chapman was an honorary life member of the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, honorary vice president of the Central American and Caribbean Sports Organization, and a life vice president of the Commonwealth Games Federation. We acknowledge Mr. Chapman's spiritual presence. We invite TTOC President Ms. Diane Henderson to present the Alexander B. Chapman Award for 2022.
The Alexander B. Chapman Award is presented for outstanding contribution to sport and Olympism, particularly in the promotion of Olympic ideals. It recognizes achievements that epitomize the fundamental principles of Olympism as found in the Olympic Charter. Maureen Craig Russo, Executive Trinidad and Tobago's Hockey Board member, 2015 to 2018. Director of the Pan American Hockey Federation over the last 15 years. Chair of the FIH Risk and Compliance Committee and member of the FIH Governance Committee. Past President of the Trinidad and Tobago Hockey Board. FIH Technical Official, Tournament Director for over 28 years at some events such as Champion Challenge, Commonwealth Games, World League Round 1, World League Round 2, World Cup qualifiers, Olympic Games qualifiers.
Thank you very much to the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee for being awarded with the Alexander B. Chapman Award. This recognition means a lot to me, as I knew Mr. Chapman personally, and he was my mentor in my early ages of administration. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to Maureen Craig Russo. We say thank you to the family of Mr. Alexander B. Chapman, and thank you to Ms. Diane Henderson, TTOC President. Ladies and gentlemen, we now present each of the 2022 TTOC awardees.
The Junior Sportswoman, Phoebe Sandy. The Junior Sportsman, Nikolai Blackman. The Sports Personality, Jareem Richards. The Future is Female awardee, Rachel Thompson King. The Sportswoman of the Year, Tennille Campbell. The Sportsman of the Year, Jareem Richards. The People's Choice awardee, Nicholas Paul. And the Alexander B. Chapman awardee, Maureen Craig Russo.
Congratulations to all winners of the 28th TTOC Awards ceremony. Thank you to Her Excellency Paula Mae Weeks ORTT, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Shamfa Kojo, Minister of Sport and Community Development, and our feature speaker, Sherelle Thompson. We thank our sporting organizations, the TTOC executive and staff, and you, our special guests, online, on radio, and on television, for sharing in this evening's prestigious ceremony. As we close our program, the TTOC extends to you a positive and uplifting year ahead. Happy New Year and good night.